Okay guys, I'm also now taking place in the challenge run scene with my very own challenge where I at least think that I'm one of the first people to do it. But anyways, I'm getting off track, so let me tell you what challenge I'm going to do today. That's right guys, we're doing a Friday Night Funkin Nuzlocke challenge, which I like to refer as the FNAFlocke challenge. Yeah, that name is definitely not inspired by a particular other challenge by some other YouTuber. Okay, jokes aside, what is FNAFlocke? Well, it is as simple as it sounds. It is indeed a Nuzlocke for Friday Night Funkin, which means if I die at any point in the mod, I have to reset to the very first song. And in this case, it is indeed the Indie Cross Mod. Okay, so let us set some rules for this challenge. First rule, we have to play through all the weeks and their corresponding bonus songs, except for 4 very specific songs, which I will explain why later. By the way, this also includes the nightmare songs, which are all pretty challenging. Second rule is, if I die at any song, I have to restart at the very beginning of the mod. The third rule is that I have to play all the songs on the hardest difficulty possible, which means I have to turn on hard mode for the charting and hell mode for the mechanics. And fourth, we have to play through the whole mod in one go. Okay, since we have set the rules now, let us begin this challenge with the very first week. Okay, the first week is the Cuphead week, in which we have to beat 5 songs. So while we are here, I'm going to tell you how I'm going through these songs. Firstly, I'm going to give you some information and rate the difficulty of the song and tell you what the hardest part of the song is. So after we cleared all that stuff up, let's get started with the first song.
Hey Buster, you got a lot of knife messing with our land. What say we settle this here and now?
So since I don't have much to say about the song, I will just tell you a little fun fact. The song name is actually a reference to the intro of Cuphead, where Cuphead rolls snake eyes on the dice and makes a contract with the devil or something like that, I don't know. With the fact aside, let's rate the song, and yeah, it is super easy, so I will rate this a 0 star. And the hardest part, even if there somehow is a hardest part, I don't know, is the part right here where he does his little patterns. But aside from that, this is the song that we will start at when we have reset. Alright, we are in the tier list segment of this video now, and you know, we're just gonna rate these songs and how I actually enjoy them as a whole. We're only gonna rate the songs that appeared in this challenge, by the way, so if you're wondering where some certain songs are, then yeah, just ignore it please. Alright. Okay, so first up we have Snake Eyes, and honestly, you know, it's a jamming. It's a nice song. Maybe it's like, I mean, okay, sure. This song is pretty good, honestly, like, you know, we put it right there. So this song introduces our very first mechanic for the mod, which is really easy to deal with as long as you have your keybinds bind well. But yeah, so you have to collect the parry cards to fill up your super meter, or either press enough notes, which, gonna be honest, it never happens in this mod ever. The game would just give you some random parry notes so you have an attack ready. But anyways, when Cuphead starts shooting at you, he will not stop until you either attack him back or your health is at 0. So basically, he's just gonna murder you if you don't do anything. So we want to make sure that we always have a card ready to counter Cuphead's attack. Aside from that, the song is easy as well, so we rate it at 1 star. This song doesn't really have a hard part since the difficulty stays the same throughout the song, so I would just say that the difficulty comes from how awfully slow this song is. And I mean, just look at this bro, like what the hell is that? Technicolor Tussle. where would I put this? This is like, gameplay wise, this is a pretty boring song. It's so slow and awful, honestly. But honestly, I would probably rate this above Snake Eyes, but probably not in Jammin', so let's put it right there. In this song, Cuphead becomes mad for some reason and decides to use his EX moves on us, which means that we have you guessed it right, your average FNF mod mechanic, a dodging mechanic. So to put it simply, when you see the obvious sign on screen, just press your dodging hotkey, which is mostly your spacebar. So just press it and you'll be fine. If Cuphead uses the roundabout EX move, then just dodge again after you dodged for the first time, since it will return like a boomerang, you know, just like in the game. So yeah, that's easy. Keep in mind that all of these moves are an insta-kill on hell mode, so that is cool. Not. And his last new weapon he uses is the chaser shot, which is like the green one that looks like he's shooting stars at us or something, I don't know. Which you cannot do anything against since he will just keep shooting and yeah, be annoying. Well, since it doesn't do much damage, it should be easy. So yeah, this song is pretty easy. So since I am a Friday Night Funkin pro and never miss, ever, so we will breeze through this. I'll rate this song a 2-star, and the hardest part is probably the part where he first shoots a roundabout EX and then a regular one while we are playing. So yeah, after Cuphead commits a crime against his own brother, he gets even more mad and starts completely destroying boyfriend, but luckily we get saved by a mysterious portal entity and can continue our journey. Alright, for Knockout, this is a very high song. It's really good, it's jamming, definitely on top of that tier. In this song, we fight off against the Devil, who is the main antagonist and final boss of the game Cuphead. If you don't care about the DLC, but we don't talk about that today, so yeah, what special mechanic is in this song? And oh, we have the dodging mechanics again. But this time they just take half your health instead of being an insta-kill, so that makes things more chill. And we even have a new mechanic, which is also a really often used mechanic in FNF mods. The so-called don't press the note or you will get a insert any random effect note. Well, with that out of the way, I will rate the song a 2-star since it has a decent chunk of challenge in it, which with the mechanics, but it has a pretty consistent difficulty, so yeah. Satanic Funkin. This is also a pretty cool song. I will probably... it would be like bottom of this tier, honestly. So let's put it right there. So on to the next song, and oh, hell nah. Looks like we have our first member of what I like to call the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet has 3 members, which each being the nightmare versions of the opponents we face throughout our journey. The main ones to be exact, but yeah, just for clarification. In this song, we face off against Nightmare Cuphead, and he is not one you should underestimate, since his EX move now only has a sound cue, which you can hear in this clip. It's a bit off sync now, but I'm not like that or anything. Or you can see it by his animation, but why are you looking over there when you're supposed to be playing? So yeah. He also has a yellow damage note from the Devil since he's a thief, and has more difficult patterns for us to deal with. There's not much more to say about this besides from my ranking, so now I would say that this is a solid 3-star song, and the hardest part is probably this part right here where it just does this weird pattern, which I still to this day cannot do properly. Devil's Gambit, a song I spend a lot of time with since, you know, I tried to FC this song and succeed as well, but you know, since I have a lot of experience with this song, you know, I can confidently say that this is one of the very best in my opinion. So yeah, well, that is the first member of the gauntlet defeated. So next up we have, wait, is that Sansational? For our next week, we have to face off against none other than the sexiest man alive. Sorry, my bad. I meant, of course, Sansational, who's not gonna go easy on us. So, before we start with the songs, I want to let you know that I'm only going to play through the genocide version of this week, which I'm going to let you know how to access later. But that means that we just skip a later to come song and a few other songs as well, since it is first of all stupidly easy. And I also would have to play through the week again, and that would be boring, so we skip the following songs on the list right here. With all that aside, let's start our first song. So remember when I said he's not gonna go easy on us? Well, just take a look at this clip. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, this is mostly a reference to a line from Sansational Undertale where he says like why people never use the strongest attack first and stuff, you know, which I find pretty charming honestly. And yeah, this song gets really chill after that first part. So let's talk about the gimmick notes first, since yes, we have more. And the orange ones have to be pressed and the blue ones have to be avoided. And of course, if you mess it up, it will result in an instant death on hell mode. So yeah, I would rate the song with 2 stars, two obvious reasons. So you would also know what the hardest part of course is. So yeah, Whopee. You know, it's a jammin'. I like the song. It's like one of those songs you would just chill to the whole time. I would probably rate it above Satanic Funkin, definitely, but not higher than Knockout. Knockout is a bit better honestly because it has more energy inside of it, while Whopee just has, you know, the chill kind of vibe, but I like that. It's like one of the not so many songs I actually enjoy with that kind of vibe. Let's just move on to the next song and continue. After Frisk fails to enter our arena, we continue our match and Sans starts using the infamous dodging mechanic again. So now, to trigger the genocide route, this week you have to at least attack Sans about 3 times with your attack for him to trigger his Senpai special. And wait, before you look at me weird and say it, what the heck do you mean with that? I mean, this part is just a reference to the part in Senpai's song Roses from the base game of Friday Night Funkin. So please don't judge me, okay? With that out of the way, I mean of course that this part is a reference, you know, so nothing more, please. Okay, back. Here's a small fun fact. The orange and blue bone notes are referencing the blue and orange attacks in Undertale, in which you have to either stand still or move through the corresponding color. So that is also a nice touch, honestly. And I will of course rate this song a 2.5 stars, with the hardest part obviously being the end part. Sansational. This is also a cool song. I really like this one. I will rate this above Knockout, honestly. This is a really cool song. I like this one. So after Frisk or Kara, honestly I don't know who's in control right now, starts possessing us, Sans becomes aware and starts to play serious, in which he will use all of his previous mechanics and will use his literal gas to blast us. and we have to dodge it as we would be playing Undertale. Like, we wouldn't be dealing with much more or something, I don't know. The blasters do take half your health, so be careful when dodging these. You know, the song does stay consistent though with its difficulty as well, since, you know, you have to constantly deal with the gimmick notes, the dodging, and of course, literally the gaster blasters from Undertale. So yeah, that's the first song that is difficult in this challenge. And yeah, I would probably rate this song a 3.5 stars, since I actually died once in this song in one of my attempts. And the hardest part is actually the one where I actually died as well. And that is the part where you have to dodge this bone zone thingy, I don't know, this dodging mechanic, you know, that one. Why you have to deal with gimmick notes, of course, you know, so that's a cool combo. So yeah, aside from that, you know, after we beat the song, boyfriend gets completely destroyed by Sans, and I'm starting to sense a theme. As I was saying, after an epic fight or something like that, Sans and Chris both die, and boyfriend just gets teleported out of it, since, you know, plot armor and stuff, you know. But anyways, what would you say? Except for nothing of value was indeed lost. Burning in Hell. Straight up, it's one of the uncontested bangers. Love this song, one of my favorites. One of my favorite songs to ever exist. Still, it's like top 10 of my favorite songs ever. Love the song, such a hype. And yeah, nothing much more to say, moving on. After Sans has been completely destroyed by us, Papyrus wants to take a turn into singing against us, and he also has a special gimmick note, because, you know, why the hell would he not have one? You know, because that would be too easy for us. But anyways, I'm getting a bit angry again. Yeah, the gimmick note will appear on his side, it's like that yellow note, and we'll just quickly switch to our side, and if we missed it, it will instantly kill us. Which is why I'm rating this a 1.5 stars, since it actually has a kind of dangerous mechanic or something like that, I don't know. But anyways, the song does stay consistent with its difficulty, but it is just so awfully slow, bro. I mean, bro, speed up, man. So yeah, it makes the song a bit boring, but yeah, anyways, the song is stupidly easy. So next up we have, oh my god, not again. Now we move on to the second member of the gauntlet, and that is indeed Nightmare Sans. And not to mistake him with that guy, by the way. But anyways, this is Burning in Hell, but like 3 times harder, or even more than that maybe. Since it is super fast, has all previous mechanics, with an expansion on the dodging mechanic of course, since it has the orange and blue colors now, which you have to press if it's orange, and don't press it if it's blue, because, you know, the song would be too easy if this wouldn't be in here, you know. But anyways, this song has a little issue, you know, which are lag spikes, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's like a PC issue or a game issue, but just take a little look at this clip right here. The lag, bro, I hate it here. Yeah, this is just a little issue, but not too game changing. It can kill runs though, which is a little annoying, so yeah. I would rate the song a 5 star due to its constant difficulty and challenge, and the hardest part of course being the hardest part, because, you know, why would a song not be, you know, cool and hard, you know, if the ending part was the hardest, you know, because why not, you know, yeah. Bad to the Bone, this is like it's kind of like a Satanic Funkin kind of like song in my opinion. It's like, it is pretty slow, but it has its energy. I would probably, well, I mean, I'll probably rate it above Technicolor Tussle. It's like, hey, it's pretty good, you know, so let's continue. Bad Time. This is also a very cool song. Yeah, definitely, you know, comment section, we're not glazing, okay, we're not glazing Sans, okay, just don't mind that, okay. But, well, after all of that, we have beaten the second member of the gauntlet and can move on to our next indie game. Why is it all black? So after Boyfriend gets teleported to this place, his first plan is to rap battle a cardboard cutout of Bendy. And yeah, Boyfriend is really starting to become desperate for a battle, I guess. But back to the topic, and let's see what this week actually has to offer. So for our first song, as I said, Boyfriend is battling that thing. And of course, since Boyfriend obviously didn't learn his lesson last 2 times he tried that, and of course, alerts the Ink Demon himself. And now we have another mechanic, which every time Bendy sings a note, or health will drain, so that's cool. But to be honest, this song is really easy, so let's just skip to the rating. So yeah, I would just rate this song a 1 star, and honestly, like, this song is just as easy as Snake Eyes, so let's just skip to the next song. Imminent Demise. This song honestly is pretty mid. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really enjoy this song as a whole. Like, the beginning section is nice, but it is honestly like, as a beginning of the like final week for that, it is pretty weak, honestly. Like, you know, and the Bendy section also, it is not that cool. I mean, it has a cool reveal, honestly, but like, I don't know, it kind of gives me like Snake Eyes vibes, but less cool. I don't know, I just don't like the song as much. Little fun fact right here though, Boyfriend hitting a cardboard cutout is actually a reference to the actual Bendy and the Ignition game, because I believe if you destroy all of the Bendy cutouts, Bendy will automatically spawn. I believe that was a gimmick in chapter 3, I believe, if I remember correctly. So that's a cool gimmick. So yeah, on to the next song now. So now we have the Bendy simp standing in the background and doing literally nothing, just being there to be cool or something, I don't know. And of course we have gimmick notes again. Yeah, this is starting to become really annoying now. Or at least they are not as threatening as some other nodes, and are definitely not going to one combo me later on. So how they work is when you hit them, they will start to cover your screen. If you hit too many of them in a row, you will die to suffocation or something like that, I guess. So yeah, this song is a 2 star, and the other spot is the ending part. So next, Terrible Sin. Yeah, this is like below Snake, as it's like bottom of this tier as well. Like, it's a pretty good song, but you know, not amazing. And we're actually gonna see, like, this is probably not, well, this is probably like the last Bendy song we'll put it that low. So let's move on. Now we're getting to the mechanic that definitely is not going to get used in a later song, and it's not going to be the reason why I lost 1 attempt at the near end of the run. But anyway, we're getting off track again. So yeah, let's just focus on new mechanic. So yeah, we have to fend off the Butcher Gang now, and of course, you know, that brings our favorite dodging mechanic back. And of course they have attack mechanic, but you know, that it's just how it is, you know. Smart likes to use these mechanics, and it's annoying. But this type of twist, we have to use 2 attack buttons for each left and right side, and of course the Butcher Gang, to make it even more tedious, we have to hit it 2 times before they even die. And of course they keep respawning. Why? Of course, when they hit our screen, we will get the same effect as we would hit 1 ink node. And of course, if we get hit too many times in a row, we die. It's as simple as that. Nothing much more to say about this mechanic. Besides from that, this song is pretty easy as well, and also gets rid of the gang and replace them with that guy later on. And wait a minute. Anyways, 3 stars, and the hardest part is this part right here. So yeah, nothing much more to say. Moving on. Last Reel. Where do I put this one? Because this is a pretty good song as well. I do like this song, and I'll probably put it above Knockout, because it gives me more like some final boss energy than Knockout, honestly. So let's put it right here. It's a cool song, has cool, like, instrumental. Pretty neat. So yeah, Bendy has decided to become even more hostile, if that is somehow possible, I guess. And of course just chasing boyfriend MX style, even though this mod came before Mario's Max, but whatever. So, as I was saying, in here we run around the studio and have the same ink node, and by the way, of course, I forgot to mention that we have another gimmick node. And then it's of course a shadow node, and basically insta-kills you if you press it, so it's basically just a reskin of the blue bow node for the Sans Week. But yeah, that was enough of that. So throughout the song, the average sometimes becomes dark and scary, ooh, and of course node skin changes for us to confuse me and be annoying, of course, you know. But honestly, only the gimmick nodes get a little bit harder to see. And you know, since we're pros at FNF and definitely never miss and always feel good about ourselves if we FC every song ever, we can definitely move on. Of course, the hardest part is the last part, it's the last dark section. My god, I can't talk. And I will rate this song a 3.5 stars, since it is not that much harder, since it only has gimmick nodes and no other mechanic. So let's just move on after we see Boyfriend getting completely annihilated by Bendy, and I'm pretty sure that Boyfriend just here to be thrown and beaten, honestly. Well, anyways, ignore that, just move on to the next song, I guess. Nightmare Run, it is probably, I would probably say, it is a cool song. I like the song very much. It's like the very best. It's like here. And we've reached the second last song in this mod, and this time it is none other than the Bendy Simp himself. And let's just say this song is only rated a 2.5 star due to the ending where he throws his axe and it actually insta-kills you and you have to dodge it, you know. And that is just the reason why I rate the song pretty high, and you know, of course there's ick notes to be more annoying. But yeah, this song is pretty easy. We know what the hardest part is. Let's just move on to the final song of the challenge. Ritual. This is also... I don't know, most of these extra songs have some weird vibe. It's like, they're not that cool. I would probably rate it somewhere, I don't know, it's like... Honestly, the song is actually pretty good, honestly. It's like one of the worst songs, honestly, in this mod. So yeah. So yeah, this song is hard. Like, really, really hard. It is so hard that I still, to this day, have never gotten 0 misses on this song. And yeah, so let's talk about it now. For starters, this song is like over 5 minutes long, which is already bad. It has the worst glitching effect known to mankind, and to make matters even worse, we have the same mechanics from the main week, which means more Butcher Gang action and that guy. And of course, the gimmick notes, which have the dark mode theme from Nightmare Run now for some reason. I don't know. Which makes this song even more infuriating is that you have to play for like 2 minutes of the song until the real difficulty even begins to ramp up. And of course, we need to have the hardest part for last, where everything gets just super fast and it's just madness completely. There's not much to say though. So I will just show you a cool montage of me beating so mod, and we'll hear my closing thoughts then after that. Of course my rating is just hell, honestly, because the song is literal hell. And the hardest part is no doubt the ending section, even though I died at the part before this due to me messing up and talking about the wombo combo from earlier, but that is not important right now. This pair, despite my, well, not really hatred for the song due to its difficulty. I do enjoy this song, but honestly, this song is like, meh, it's like above last three, honestly. Like, this is not really one of the best songs. I do like this though, it is pretty cool. And yeah, so let us just witness how I have beaten the FNAFlocke challenge. Indie Cross Edition, of course.
Okay. Okay. Okay, when... Alright, here we go. Oh my god, it's over. Okay. Finally.
Well, this challenge honestly was not that bad at all, honestly. And it was really cool to revisit this mod after the last time I've played. And of course, I will rate this challenge as a whole as acceptable. And I would just say after that all, thank you guys so much for watching, of course. Since this took a bit of effort to make, and if you guys want, you can always write down in the comments what challenge you want me to do next, if it is FNF related or some other game. So yeah, leave a like or dislike depending on how you enjoyed this one, and I would say subscribe for more content like this, since I want to try more stuff like this out, and we'll say see you guys next time. Have a good one, take care, and goodbye.